It's the feature presentation, all right? Where movies and music meet. DJ Sus when I'm in the building. We got my people here, Finale in Kenya. And we're going to have a discussion because we all saw Creed 3 yesterday. And we want to do a non-spoiler review, and we're going to talk about it. Finale in Kenya was there with me. So let's see. Who should we start with? Let's start with
Finale.
Let's start with Finale.
Let's go. I think because it was a passion project for him, nailed it.
You believe he nailed it?
Nailed it.
So
Nailed it.
obviously we need more detail than he nailed
I
it.
was waiting. I was going to piggyback off of what you were going to ask afterwards. I felt he is Creed. Instead of playing a character, like I felt he was playing a character in the other two movies. This one, I felt like he actually.
Oh wait, are you saying that he didn't feel like he was Creed in part 1 and 2?
Not to me.
Really?
To me, it felt like he was acting the role. This time, it felt like he feels like he is Creed.
Well,
Like he embodied the character, and it might be because it's a passion project for him. He directed it too, so I see the difference in his acting in the other two and this one.
wow.
This is by far my favorite one out of the three, but I might be a little biased because of the story. I understand both sides. I experienced it, so
Which we're not going to talk much about the plot.
No.
You know, the little bit I will say is what they already said to the public, that he had a personal situation with Jonathan Majors' character. And he came home from prison after many years. And there was a very, very, very great story and personal situation between those two. And we don't want to say too much because that will give away the whole plot of the movie. But you felt the
tension.
Yeah, you felt the tension from both these brothers. And I want to say congratulations to Michael B. Jordan too, because for a first movie, his directorial debut, it's absolutely amazing in my opinion. Some of the cinematography was absolutely amazing, and we're going to get to that. Kenya, what did you think of Creed 3?
I thought it was solid all the way through and through. Like the plot was good, the storyline was good, the acting was good, and I felt like, to Finale's point, like both characters really embodied the role, and I felt that it was a job well done on both the directorial side and the acting side.
What did you think of Jonathan Majors' performance as Damien? Like, what did you think of that? Because both these brothers, to me, killed it. Jonathan Majors' swag as that character, the viciousness when it got to that part, which we will keep at a very minimal, we won't give away too much, was almost perfect to me.
It was. He was phenomenal. And it was good to see him in another role because, like, I only really know him from his devotion roles and, like, the other movies he's played in. So to see him in the villain role was kind of dope. And I thought he just embodied that very well. It was good to see him switch it up.
What did you think of Jonathan Majors?
That dude he's a problem. He's a problem. Like if I didn't know he was an actor, I would have thought he actually. This is not a spoiler. It was in the commercials. Like he actually did that time.
Facts. I really thought.
Like
That's what it felt like. It felt like he really did the time in prison.
In the preview, when he was walking through the diner and the way he was looking around at everybody, that's what you do. Because when you walking through the yard or you walking through the cafeteria, anybody can poke you. So he's looking at everybody in the diner as a suspect. Like the facial expressions he made, it was like, all right, this guy, like, it hit home.
Yeah.
So what I really want to talk to you guys about, there's a few things, is the cinematography from the actual final battle, the final fight scene.
Without giving any spoilers.
Yeah, without giving any spoilers. I need you guys to get creative of how we can express to the viewers of how amazing the cinematography was for the fights without giving away what happened.
So I felt like there were certain scenes where it really took you in the zone, right? And there was a particular scene which when you see the movie, you'll get what we're saying, but it really took you out of the atmosphere of the crowd impacting what was going on and took you into the zone of the emotional part and the mental state of the character so you could really focus on what was happening in the scene. And I thought that was really creative and impactful.
Yeah, exactly. That description was exactly what that entire fight scene was. And it was incredible how he did it because it's so much different from the films before, different than Creed 1, different than Creed 2, different than the Rocky universe. It was very creative. It was very original. And there's been plenty of boxing movies besides, this universe and this ecosystem. And I haven't seen anything like that as far as a boxing fight scene, I should say. Of course, we've seen creativity with Quentin Tarantino and Kill Bill and all those movies, but this was very incredible for a boxing movie. What were you going to say?
To piggyback off of what she was saying is to my if there's any fighters out there that are tuned in, you'll relate to that scene.
There was
without giving anything away, they hone in on what happens when you are in that ring or cage or mat, whatever it is, tournament you are in. They hone in on it, so it hits home. It's relatable. Again, that's why this movie is my favorite one of the three, because I can feel it. Through and through.
And I'll just say too, in like a certain scene, was a lot of symbolism, like even from like their childhood and like past experiences that they give you like sneak peeks to, which I thought was a great integration, because you're like, oh, you notice these little things in the moment that kind of bring you back to the storyline. So I thought that was clever.
What can we really talk about with the Creed movie that we haven't talked about? You want to talk about atmosphere?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room first. Let's get this out the way. Was there anything bad about the movie? The only thing bad that I could say about the movie was, and it's not necessarily bad, maybe that's the wrong language, but I know a lot of people were expecting to see or hear references. It was already announced a while ago that Sylvester Stallone and Rocky wasn't going to be in the film.
Yeah.
I know some fans were upset about that. Some people could care less. There's mixed reviews about it. But some people are expecting things to be said about Rocky. He was mentioned, I'll say this, he was mentioned once in the film. If I have to say anything bad, this is not necessarily a bad thing, because the movie was great to me. But they didn't really give any information on where Rocky is, which could be for many reasons. It could be because they're trying to bring him back for future sequels, or they just wanted to just have it stand on its own and not mention much. Like, there's many reasons. It did not affect the movie at all. If you were affected by that, that's just because you are purely a Rocky fan and you want to see it. But the movie was great without any mentions, in my opinion.
I don't think this was even about Rocky. I think that they probably referenced Rocky to obviously pay homage to like how this whole storyline came about. But I think this was really a moment for Creed. And I felt like it was all about the character. And I feel like maybe if there was too much Rocky integration into it, it would have taken away from like this really being about
That's what I was
the character.
Rocky takes away. He ends up stealing the light because it's Rocky. This brings Creed's story.
I don't know if I agree with that, because Creed 1 and Creed 2 that Rocky was in, I don't think he stole the light. I thought it was Michael B. Jordan's performances.
They see Stallone, they're like, now it's all Michael B. It's all Creed. And it's his story. I get what you're saying, but it wasn't, that didn't bother me. Nothing bothered me.
Yeah, and I think Michael B. Jordan deserved this moment, right? Like, especially from like his debut as a director and as an actor. Like, I felt like this was his moment. And not that Rocky would have like taken away from that, but I don't know. I felt it was a good...
It wasn't about Rocky.
Right.
It's about Creed.
Well, there you go. That was the one negative thing I had to say about the movie. And it's not really negative, guys. I just know, if we're going to do these reviews, I know there's people out there that want to hear about that part of it. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about performance.
Oh,
okay, we already talked a little bit about performance with Jonathan
she wanted to
Majors.
say about what she didn't like about it?
Oh, is there something you didn't like about the movie?
We didn't go through ours.
We didn't go through our slating like we were going to, which is okay.
Well, I assumed that you guys didn't have anything bad to say.
No. You asked me yesterday if I had one thing that would like...
All right, cool. So let me say it correctly for the audience. If there was one thing that you could say negative about this film, what would it be?
I would have liked to have seen the tension between them two a little more.
See, Finale's he's all about.
He likes
you watch UFC fights. He wanted to see the negativity.
No, it's not the negativity. It's such a good beef that they could have spent about 3 more minutes.
You know what?
Building that up.
You know what? I do agree with that, because I don't want to say the scene without giving it away. But there was a scene where they confronted each other before the fight, not the final fight scene. There was a scene where they confronted each other that was like the whole theater that we saw was like, oh. So yeah, I do agree. They could. It did. I don't think it affected the movie.
No,
but they could have added some more of that.
Nothing we're saying has affected it. You're saying if we can think of something.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have seen that tension between them about 3 more minutes long.
Yeah, they could have amped it up a little bit more in some of the
great
scenes.
Beef.
Yeah,
that a little longer on it.
Yeah,
you would have been in the. You're in your chair, like you're fighting. You're like, I'm gonna punch this guy's head off.
So Michael B. Jordan's performance, absolutely amazing. We all agree on that, right?
Yeah, you got me on this one. Yeah.
Jonathan Majors, His performance was absolutely amazing.
Knocks out the ballpark every time. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, they were the energy, the cinematography, the filming. This was the first movie ever directed. Was there any complaints about the way the movie was shot? I think that was absolutely amazing.
No, it was good. I think we were talking a little bit about atmosphere before the podcast started, and I felt like the atmosphere matched like
it did.
the scenes and where things were shot. So you felt like that LA vibe, like you felt what was going on throughout, and it was
I
consistent.
felt like I was in LA. I was raised in California, so I was listening to the accent. I was seeing if they had the twang, and they were nailing it. I was like, okay, he said over here. Like he dropped a little, going to store, like that little R over there. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, all right. And so I felt like I was in Cali. I felt like I was back, on the home team. So atmosphere got me. Yeah.
All right, so the story was amazing. We all agree at that.
Yeah.
So let's go through the points that Finale broke down that we're going to be using from now on. And guys, the way we're breaking down our movies, each category we're going to give it 1 being the worst or 5 being the best. But we're using slates because this is the feature presentation. That's how we're going to be doing this. We're introducing it right now. So cinematography, 1 out of 5 slates. What do you give it, Kenya?
I give it a 4.
You give it a 4. Finale.
I'm right there with her. Yeah. 4.
I give the cinematography
4.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.5 or 5. I just really.
Can we ever give a 5?
Yeah, of course we can give a 5.
Oh, we can?
It's our
Well, no,
opinion,
I'm
but
gonna stick with a 4.
I highly enjoyed the film, the fighting scene. So,
That scene got you.
yeah, that scene specifically
He
got
stood
me.
up out of his chair and threw a belt off. Like he took his belt off and waved it like he won. He was loving that scene.
Yeah.
Atmosphere,
4.
4 slates.
I give it 3.5.
I give it a 3 for atmosphere. Performance,
I'd say 4.5.
Whose performance?
overall, everybody's performance in the movie, mainly Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, because it was based off of them.
I'm gonna give it. I hate that she's saying it before me because she's taking my slates, but 4.5. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to give them a 5 for performance. The pace of the movie, it's a good conversation. The pace of the movie, the way they built things up. Somebody made a good point that I want to mention before we give our slates out, that they felt that Jonathan Majors' role should have had at least one fight before he got to fight Michael B. Jordan. His character got to fight Michael B. Jordan in the movie.
I didn't want to give anything away.
Yeah. Well,
So,
was that really a big thing?
I didn't want to give anything away, but that's one of the things that I wanted to see more of him. To make him, build him up as more of a big baddie. Like they kind of just, the backstory behind him made him the baddie, but we didn't see him fight to know he was really that bad. Like you said, building up what you said.
But when everything came out, we don't want to give it away, but when everything came out, it was like, wow.
Yes, but I agree with whoever said that. I agree with that.
I felt the pace was okay. I felt like there were certain parts of the movie that were moved a little slower, right? That slowed it down a little bit plot-wise, but overall I felt it was solid.
So pace, 1 to 5, 1 out of 5 slates.
I
what?
would say 3.
3 out of 5 slates. Okay.
I was going to give it a 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a 3 too. I agree with the 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the plot, finally, the plot of the movie.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah, me too. I felt it was clever and it was very subliminal. And if you really were paying attention, you were getting some of the answers to what was going on ahead of time. Because you and I, there was something that happened in the movie and I picked up on it very early. I don't want to reveal it, but I noticed something very early on that I was like, oh, I wonder if.
Yeah.
So.
I remember what you said. You called out something. Okay. So 1 out of 5 slates. What do you give the
a 4.5.
plot?
Why she got to say her
Well,
slates
it's your
first?
own slate.
I give the plot a 4.
I'm giving it a 4.5 because, like I said, biased. I could relate to both sides,
Nice.
so it hits home. So yeah, the plot I loved.
Cool. There you have it. Creed 3. It's in theaters March 3rd. All right. Here we highly recommend this movie. It was an incredible movie. It had me on my feet. If you enjoy boxing movies and you love this universe, you're absolutely going to love this movie. If you love Creed 1 and Creed 2, you're going to really love this movie. And take your friends to go see it. Salute to Michael B. Jordan, first of all, before I forget, for doing the first episode of the Feature Presentation Podcast. He let us sit down and interview him. and talked about Creed 3 and talked about other things about his hometown in Newark, New Jersey. And we greatly appreciate Michael B. Jordan and his team. Congratulations to him for his first, this is his first movie he ever directed, and it's absolutely amazing. So congrats to him and the whole team.
Can I add something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the little girl, I think she was one of my favorite parts in the movie. The actress, her name is Bianca Taylor.
She did an incredible job.
Was incredible.
Because
What is it?
yeah, I had the opportunity to feel her energy because she came to the Sherry show the other day, and she's guys, slight spoiler, but I don't know if this is really a spoiler. She's deaf in the movie, but she's deaf in real life, and her energy and the father-daughter energy between Michael B. Jordan and her was just absolutely amazing, and she did an incredible job. So there's so many great performances in this movie. So once again, we highly suggest going to see Creed 3. It's in theaters March 3rd. Salute to Michael B. Jordan and the whole team. And this is the Feature Presentation Podcast where movies and music meet.